Hey, have you ever wondered where the word dollar comes from? What if I told you it was named after a currency that tackled a massive historical challenge in Europe? Today we're going to learn all about it on All Things Culture. Alright, so the story of the dollar begins in the small town of St. Joachimsthal in Bohemia, Central Europe. Tal is German for valley, which gives us the town's full name of St. Joachim's Valley. So, at the beginning of the 16th century, they found silver in the area. Soon, a minting operation started, and this is what the local coins looked like. They were called Joachimsthaler, or just Thaler for short. Now, I could just cut it short and tell you that the word Thaler entered the English language as dollar. That would be true, but still leaves a more interesting question open, which is, look, if coins were being minted all over Europe, why was Thaler the name that stuck? For us to answer that, we have to take an awesome trip down history lane. See, if you're doing business in Europe today, the euro will serve you well as a currency for a good chunk of the continent. But that was definitely not the case in the 16th century. At the time, Central Europe was not organized in just a handful of countries such as we have today. Rather, it was a complex structure named the Holy Roman Empire. This empire was comprised of hundreds of small political structures under local rule. Hey, just to give you an idea, this is what the region around St. Joachimsthal used to look like on the 16th century. Look at how many units are there. So everything we talked about the euro bringing some of the continent together, forget about that. In the 16th century, many of these units had their own local currencies. Can you imagine what a nightmare it would be to conduct trade around territories that look like that map we just saw? That's where the Joachimsthaler had its chance to shine. What the town's mint did was to carefully tweak the purity and the weight of the coin to make it evenly divisible between the most used currencies at the time. So this made the thaler much more suited to cross-border trade because it was much easier to convert it to different currencies. And the thaler was a hit. Soon, currencies with derivative names such as talero or talar started showing up in many regions across Europe. Check it out, there were currencies in modern-day Poland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, the Netherlands, Iceland, Italy, Hungary, and the Czech Republic. The list was so long I had to read it. And of course, in the modern-day world, we have dollar-named currencies in the US, Canada, Australia, Singapore, and many other countries. Now, the thaler has definitely left its mark. And it's safe to say that the town of Joachimsthal packs plenty of history for a place where today, less than 5,000 people live. But I'll tell you something, this town must have been blessed by the gods of mining or something because there's still more to come. First, the silver mining operations in the region went on to the 19th century. That's about 300 years worth of mining. Remember, it started in the 16th century? Now second, in the late 19th century, Marie Curie discovered the element radium, which led to major developments in the field of radioactivity and nuclear medicine. Now, the ore from which she discovered the element, guess where that came from? Joachimsthal. Now, we've mentioned all the German heritage of the town, but actually nowadays it's part of the Czech Republic under the name of Jáchymov. So that pretty much wraps it up. This was the first episode of All Things Culture. Stay tuned and subscribe to find out when more videos come out. See you next time.